Good evening, everyone. We're going to call the Monday, March 11th, 2024 council meeting to order. We're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and observe a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Sabosley, if you take roll call, please.
Testing.
Here, okay. Roll call, Paul Dern.
Here.
Dave Majernik.
Here.
Jerry Purcell.
Here.
Vicki Rossler.
Here.
Steve Schlock.
Here.
Dave Seitz.
Here.
Steve Taylor.
Here.
Mayor Schlegel is here but not here, so we do have a quorum.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report for the month of February 2024.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Taylor and a second by Mr. Majernik. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the expenses for the month of February 2024.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Majernik. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Ms. Rossler. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the February 12th, 2024 council meeting.
Second that.
I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Schlock and a second by Mr. Taylor. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Brings us to recognition of achievements in the community.
This month I have none.
Okay. Yeah. Brings us to civic announcements. Anybody in the, please come forward. State your name and give us your information.
Hello. Hi, I'm State Representative Joe McAndrew. I do not live in Plum, but I represent Plum and Harrisburg. I just wanted to inform everybody and ask for your support informing people that I'm going to be doing a property tax rebate event here in Plum at the Plum Senior Center on April 4th from 9:30 to 11:30. And we can extend that or adjust it as needed if we have a lot of people signing up at the Senior Center. The primary goal is to help residents in the community that are 65 and over who make less than $45,000 a year to be able to get money back from the state in a rebate for their property taxes. They can get a minimum back of $380 with a maximum back of $1,000. This is a different standard than it's been in previous years. Previously it was around $32,000 for homeowners, and then for renters it was about $15,000. Currently it is now for $45,000 for everybody because of legislation that we passed through the House. So that being said, if you would be please, whether I'll be sending out information if you prefer, or get you guys what materials you need, but please inform your residents that we're here to help anybody who needs that support.
Can we put that on Savvy Citizen?
Why don't you announce your phone number for everybody at home?
Oh, yes. We have some flyers in the back as well, and I can send this digitally to David if you would like. Our office phone number is 412-793-2448. You can, of course, please, if you'd like to send out on Savvy Citizen. I know this is for a lot of seniors, and so a lot of the programming that we get to communicate with them is word of mouth or by signage. And so there's a bunch of flyers in the back. If anybody wants to take one or share it with anybody, please feel free to do so. But thank you. Anybody else have any other questions?
We'll post that on our website.
Yeah, just if you email that stuff to me, we'll get it out on our website, Facebook, Savvy Citizen, and we'll make sure that everyone knows that this great program is going on in early April.
Thank you. And if anybody isn't able to make that date, my office offers this out of our office every day, Monday through Friday, from 9:30 to 4:30. All you need to bring is your receipts from your your county property taxes, your local and your school district property taxes that they are paid, as well as your statements of income. And if you come by with that either on this date or on or any day during the week to my office, we can help you submit your application, and so you can get that rebate. So
Is your office where Tony's was, or did you move?
my office is no longer where Tony's was. We moved over to Universal Road. So the best way to get there from here, for most areas in Plum, is to go, down Salzburg Road, and you make a left on Universal, and you go that back way. You don't want to go in Frankstown. It's all under construction and a pain in the butt. The other thing I wanted to mention is if anybody wants to sign up for my email newsletter, we send out a weekly email newsletter that breaks down programs for anybody who receives the email. They know their deadlines and their qualifications for different programs that we roll out, not just for property tax rebates, but could be for bus passes or farmers market vouchers, things along those lines. If you'd like to inform anybody to sign up for that as well, my email is just reprepmcandrew, MCANDREW, @pahouse.net. And that will continually release information on programs throughout the year that people will be eligible for.
Are you gonna leave the flyers in the lobby or with us, or?
I can leave them back with the agendas, and then if you want to take them, or if you recommend any place to hang them, we do have them hanging at the senior center, of course, but you guys would know best if there's a place that you'd like to see them hung
Dave, can we add
or pass out.
Lisa Lagnice to your list?
My list of,
People you're gonna inform, like Savvy Citizen?
oh, sure, yeah, no problem.
Well, thank you again, and I appreciate you taking the time, and I look forward to talking more, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McAndrew. Any other civic announcements? Okay, brings us to president's comments. I have none. Now we go to citizens' comments. No one has signed up on agenda items. However, if anyone's changed their mind. Okay, brings us to council actions. Starting off with council actions, Mr. Majernik, on behalf of the Planning and Economic Development Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Dern. On behalf of the Planning and Economic Development Committee, I move to adopt Resolution 981-24, approving the application for lot in Block 733-N-284 through the Allegheny County Vacant Property Program in accord with the Plum Boro Comprehensive Plan.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second from Mr. Seitz. All those, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
On behalf of the Planning and Economic Development Committee, I move to adopt Resolution 982-24, approving the Fox Auto Conditional Use Application CU-06-23 for 2822 Golden Mile Highway, as recommended by the Planning Commission.
I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Majernik. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second by Mr. Taylor. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries.
On behalf of the Planning and Economic Development Committee, I move to adopt Resolution 983-24, approving the Perrin-Raschuti lot line revision, FSC-01-24, as recommended by the Borough Engineer.
I have another motion on the floor from Mr. Majernik. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second, Mr. Purcell. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is that it, Mr. Majernik?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to Mr. Seitz on behalf of Personnel and Management.
Thank you, Mr. Dern. On behalf of the Personnel Management Committee, I move to approve a cost of living increase for a retired police officer as recommended by the Borough Actuary.
I have a motion on the floor presented by Mr. Seitz. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Ms. Rossler. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Also, on behalf of the Personnel and Management Committee, I move to approve the 2024 staff salaries.
I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Seitz. Do I have a second?
I second it.
I have a second from Mr. McJernick. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Seitz. On behalf of Public Safety, Ms. Rossler.
On behalf of Public Safety, I move to authorize the use of the old municipal building for fire training purposes prior to the building being demolished.
I have a motion on the floor presented by Ms. Rossler. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Purcell. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I move to enact ordinance 797-24, authorizing changes to the civil service ordinance as recommended by the Civil Service Commission.
I have a motion on the floor from Ms. Rossler. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Taylor. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I move to authorize first and second line testing for the police department as recommended by the Civil Service Commission.
I have a motion on the floor from Ms. Rossler. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Mr. Majernik. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I would like to table number 9.
That's a
Make a
motion.
motion to table number 9.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor by Ms. Rossler to table number 9, and I have a second from Mr. Taylor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Just so the record's replete, it's concerning the Unity Volunteer Fire request.
And am I correct in assuming since we tabled it, there's no discussion?
There's no discussion.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is that it? Ms. Rossler? That's all? Okay, Mr. Taylor, on behalf of the Parks and Recreation Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the Parks and Rec Committee, I move to approve the PBSA request to make improvements to a borough-owned facility, Plum Creek Ball Fields, as outlined in their February 27th application and contingent upon the acquisition of the proper permits.
I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Taylor. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Seitz. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, on behalf of the Finance Committee, Mr. Schlock.
Thanks, Mr. President. On behalf of the Finance Committee, I move to enact ordinance 980-24, guaranteeing the Plum Boro Municipal Authority borrowing in an amount not to exceed $9 million.
I have a motion on the floor presented by Mr. Schlock. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Majernik. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
On behalf of the Finance Committee, I move to adopt Resolution 984-24, approving a 5-year renewal of a cable TV franchise agreement with Verizon Pennsylvania, LLC.
I have another motion on the floor from Mr. Schlock. Do I have a second? I have a second by Ms. Rossler. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I do have a report.
Well, we'll do that. We still have another. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Purcell, on behalf of Roads, Equipment and Grounds, there, you have none?
I have nothing, sir.
Okay. That moves us to the mayor's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the month of February, we had, our police had 987 calls. That's a slight increase over January. Under special projects, the chief and several of our police officers were invited to attend with other first responders from Plum. At St. John's, or Holy Family Catholic School, they did a breakfast for the first responders. And it was very nice of everyone to understand. On February 23rd, Sergeant Ricketts attended the Special Olympics polar plunge at Acrisure Stadium. This was to raise money for Special Olympians. And looking at the picture, Scott Ricketts did not go in the water. And on February 29th, Corporal Sorolla, Officer Belton, and Officer Kurtz participated in this year's Read Across America event at O Block Elementary School. And that was organized by the reading specialist Jill Venanzi at O Block. And now we come to thoughtful citizens. On February 8th, Michael Cerniglia, again of Michael's Printing, delivered cookies to the officers for their continued service to the community. And on February 27th, my lovely wife had me deliver an enormous tray of homemade chocolate chip cookies for the police. And I did not get invited, but I short-circuited because I ate some on the way down. And that's all I have, sir.
Man, short and sweet tonight.
Hey.
Okay, the intergovernmental, committee, we did not meet this month, so there's nothing new to report there. So we'll go to Mr. Seitz with the Personnel Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Dern. The Personnel Committee report, we had a Public Works employee resign on February 16th. The job vacancy was made public. We received 15 applicants and will be hosting the written Public Works exam this month, followed by a driving exam and then interviews, and we hope to have the position filled in May. The borough's code enforcement officer resigned effective February 23rd. The job vacancy was posted on March 1st, and we're currently accepting applications. We have received 4 so far. The borough manager and the HR coordinator are finalizing the details of a job description for the in-house engineer, with the intent of posting that job description within the next week. This position was budgeted for as part of the budget for the upcoming year. The Personnel Committee and the Borough Manager met to complete the 2023 staff performance reviews and the 2024 merit increases. The IT department opened 31 tickets and closed 21 during February. And they also evaluated a new software system for facility and pavilion rental. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Seitz. Okay, Mr. Schlock with the Finance Committee, please.
Yes, thanks, Mr. Dern. During February, general fund revenues totaled $1,022,253, which is about 6% of the total annual revenue budget. Expenditures were $1,202,113. The borough has a tax anticipation note with Dollar Bank totaling $1.5 million. To date, we have yet to draw down from this note, and this will lead to savings and interest expenses for 2024. We expect Mayor Dussel, our independent auditor, to be forwarding a draft 2023 DCED audit report prior to mid-March. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Schlock. Mr. Purcell, roads, equipment, and grounds, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. 2024 paving contract. The 2024 paving contract was awarded to Derry Construction. This is the same contractor that was awarded the 2023 contract, which was completed in a timely manner. The Public Works Department will be listing 3 pieces of equipment or vehicles on the Gov Deals auction site in the near future. Posts were fabricated and painted for the new scoreboard installation at the Plum Midget Football Association field. Holes were drilled for the foundations and concrete was poured for the scoreboard, and also the construction of a press box at the PMFA field. And preventative maintenance was performed on 16 pieces of public works equipment, 14 police vehicles, and 3 administrative vehicles. That concludes my report, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Purcell. Ms. Rossler, public safety, please.
Sorry, Mr. Dunn.
okay.
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you. Just real short, Mr. Slock, Mr. Purcell, and I have met with all 4 fire departments. We're going to be looking at meeting with the chiefs in April, and that will be along with the water authority. So for now, that's all I have for that update. Regarding the stormwater projects, I have 3 updates. The first one is for O Block Pond. Construction drawings and specifications have been completed. The Army Corps of Engineers requested the removal of existing wetlands within the O-Block Pond at this time. Plum Public Works successfully removed the wetlands and disposed of the material at Larry Mills Park fill site. Upon approval from the Army Corps of Engineers, the project will be ready to be placed out to bid. So that's O-Block Pond. Center Beach, the flow easements were sent out to all the affected property owners for their approval on December 5th by the solicitor. Once flowage easements are obtained, submission of the dam permit, joint permit, and NPDES permit will occur concurrently. So that was Center Beach. The next one is Miller Lanes. KU Resources has performed conceptual hydraulic and hydrologic, I can't see that. Hydraulic calculations for several options at the existing culvert for borough discussion. I apologize, but that's all I have.
Sorry about that, I was hiding in the back.
You
But,
always hide back.
I know. Well, that's in case I have to get out of here. That's an EMS thing. So, but Brian Maloney, Director of Operations, Plum EMS. And so for the month of February, we were actually a little bit slower. We had a total of 217 responses. We ended up transporting 127 of those patients. We ended up going to neighboring communities only 6 times, transported 4 of those, and we did mutual aid into Plum, meaning our neighboring agencies helping us out 12 times. That's about 5.5% of the times EMS was needed in Plum that we had to rely on our neighbors. But we always make sure that EMS will be there. Along with running emergency calls, we're very proud of the fact that we try to step up and do more in the community. And we ended up conducting 10 car seat safety checks, provided 6 free car seats to families, 1 free crib. We did 2 CPR trainings. I had the opportunity to actually present at the Plum Area Ladies Society, talking about Plum EMS and also our child safety program. And they ended up making a donation, literally cash out of pocket, and raised over $325 that night. And with that, that's 3 and a little bit of a car seat or 4 cribs. So the impact that they had, as with the Rotary Club, GKIN Incorporated, and other donations, it could potentially save a life. So we're very, very happy and proud about that. Last week I did the annual AED checks throughout the community, and there's 18 that we have, which is unbelievable. And I give you 100% credit for that. And I hope they continue collecting dust, but that time that they're needed, it's going to be amazing. And then I also had a chance to participate in the school district's O-Block Elementary Read Across America. I got the entire 4th grade in the gym, so a little bit of pressure, let me tell you, but it was a great group, and even at the end, we all pretended we were on roller coasters having a good time. So I appreciated the invite, and I always enjoy going out in the community. So questions, comments, a little story to make me smile?
What story did you read?
Oh my gosh, it was like Mr. Peebles. It was it was based on a story from 300 years ago. And of course the question I got was, well, maybe the person bought this online. And I'm like, probably not, but it was a good book. So, all right.
Thank you, Mr. Maloney. And before we move forward, I want to add one more point to your report that we are looking at, no, not for you, for Vicky Stormwater. We're looking into getting grants to cover the cost of the work being done. So that moves us to Mr. Majernik, Planning, Economic Development, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Community Development Department issued 95 permits during the month of February. Staff had discussions with engineers at Patriot Estates PRD Phase 1 regarding off-site utilities and a lay-down yard. Staff met with Olympus Energy and PennDOT to discuss potential projects, met with a homeowner to discuss Plum's ASA additions, and met with an engineering group for PennDOT's New Kensington location to discuss the installation of a private small flow treatment facility. Code enforcement completed 110 residential and apartment occupancy inspections and addressed 7 violations or complaints. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Majernik. And again, last but not least, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Routine safety inspections of all borough parks were completed this month. New message boards for park pavilions were installed at Plum Creek, Larry Mills, and Renton Park. Permanent 53-gallon garbage receptacles for the parks were received and will be installed as time permits. The borough is collecting aluminum can tabs to donate to Ronald McDonald House. Containers can be found at the Borough Building, Community Center, EMS Building, Holiday Park Fire Hall, Renton Italian Club, John Anthony's, Lele Lou's Pizza, Plum Library, Longwood at Oakmont, Nesbitt's Bowling, Oakmont, Elks, S&T on Salzburg Road, Shooties, Shop and Save on 286, Stanford's, and the Sampson Family House YMCA. The Plum Library will host its book sale on Saturday, April 13th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. They will be collecting donations from April 1st through the 11th. The borough is also hosting an open gym for pickleball on Sunday, March 24th. Players must register ahead of time through the borough website. And on March 30th, the borough is hosting an egg hunt at Larry Mills Park at 11 a.m. Participants can register on the website for this event also. One thing, Dave, I know we discussed, and I can't remember if we came up with a particular day as to, because I'm getting asked a lot about when are we going to open up the Renton pickleball facility and restrooms. And I know we talked about that, and I can't remember what we come up with.
So I think traditionally we open the restrooms like April 1st. If we can open them any earlier, I think right now we're looking at March 18th, but looking forward at the forecast, believe it or not, after it gets warm this week, it's going to get cold again. So typically mid-March to early April, with a target no later than the first week in April.
Good. I have 3 other things also. Asking people to join us on April 11th down here at the Borough Building from 6 to 8. We're going to discuss the Volp Trail. We're having a public meeting to learn more about the latest updates for the trail connecting Verona, Oakmont, Penn Hills, and Plum to Boyce Park. Plum Boro Municipal Building, 200 Old Mine Road, Plum Boro. Another thing I have is April 13th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Saturday. We're having the junior fishing day that we have for the youth fishing day. It's down here at Plum Creek Park Stream Bank. This free event is open to borough residents only. Please bring proof of residency with you. Registration on our website is required, www.plumboro.com. One other question, Dave. I know that we discussed a while ago, are there going to be tagged fish by chance in this? There was discussion that there would be tagged fish, and if the kids caught them, there would be a prize or something.
Not sure. I mean, I know we're going to have our usual stocking.
Yeah.
I'm unaware of the whole tagged issue right now. Yeah.
Okay. Another thing I have is Cleanup Day, Saturday, April 20th, 2024. In conjunction with Earth Day, Plum Boro will hold its 7th annual Spring Cleanup Day on Saturday, April 20th. What better way to make Plum a better place to live and work than joining your neighbors for this great event? Please register as a group or individual on our website at www.plumboro.com. Again, that is April 20th. And one last thing I have, myself and Vicki and Mr. Purcell went down to Anderson Avenue to visit some of the residents pertaining to the flooding. Linda, I see her here. She did give me some information on grant money that might be accessible through the state. So I, in turn, turned around and gave that to Carrie, and she's going to look into that for us.
Great.
That's where we stand on that. That's
All right.
it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Before we move forward, Mr. Sabosley?
Yeah, just one thing, Vicki, that didn't make your public safety report. So a few weeks ago, Ms. Rossler approached me about house numbers and the first responders trying to find house numbers. And it's tough, you know, we go out and we volunteer and do Meals on Wheels and trying to find, some of these houses, it's pretty tough. So the borough, in conjunction with the fire departments, we're going to be selling reflective house number signs. This order form will be on our website probably sometime this week. 6 by 12 inches, 6 by 18 inches, it depends how big your address is. But this is a way that we can help our first responders to find the appropriate house quickly. So it's a reflective extruded sign. I think the color we're using is blue. That's the cheapest color to use. And the signs go from anywhere between $31 and $35. That's the actual cost. So the borough is going to order it, and then we're going to work with the fire departments. The fire departments have volunteered to deliver these address signs out to the people that order them. And if there are any questions about the appropriate placement of the house numbers, the firemen will help you with that. So I think it's a great thing, and Vicki, I just wanted to let you know we followed through on that. And I think this project probably was done a number of years ago, and I see a few of them around the community, and it's another chance for you to get some and help your first responders find you a little bit quicker. Thank you.
And there is an ordinance that you have to have your house number.
There is, and as we do, as you heard, in the report from planning, we did 110 inspections for occupancy permits. When we do those, that's one of the items that we do identify for the homeowner. So, slowly but surely we peck away at it, but over time some of these start falling apart. So it's a never-ending cycle.
Okay, that brings us to non-agenda items, citizen comments. One person has signed up, Ms. Marcelise.
Good evening. Do I have to press? Okay. I'm here this evening to publicly recognize and personally give some thank yous. A couple of months ago, I was given some information that caused me concerns. Concerns as a human being, concerns personally because I was in regard to young children, and I do have young members of my family. Concern for the library and concern for the borough. It also involved, the information involved law enforcement. So in looking for some information and some advice, who better to go to than our police department? I contacted Chief Conley and spoke and left a message because obviously he was in a meeting, I think, at that time. Within an hour, I got a response. He called and asked, what my concerns were, and I told him I was looking for advice and some information. And being that it was regarding children, he said that I would probably have better understanding and get better advice if I spoke to the juvenile officer, Officer Little. So he had said, I'll have him get in touch with you. So I wasn't expecting people to take their time, their busy day, out of their busy day to get back to me, right? But I was impressed that in a very short turnaround time, Officer Little did get in touch with me, offered to meet with me and address my concerns and offer any advice or any guidance. So I said I would be happy to meet with him at his convenience. I didn't want him to go out of his way to meet with me. Again, I was impressed by the response. So I did meet with Officer Little. We had some discussions. He gave me information. He offered advice. And I was very impressed with the way I was received. I mean, they were perfect gentlemen. They were, interested in my concerns. They were very forthcoming with advice and with information. And I left there, I thanked them personally, of course, but I left there very impressed with the actions. They were complete gentlemen, and they were very, as I said, forthcoming with information and advice. But, we're pretty lucky here in Plum. We have a good police department, we have a top-notch EMS, we have, great fire departments, and I think in our day-to-day activities, we sort of take all that for granted. So that's why I wanted to come tonight and give a public thank you to the way I was treated from the officers. Probably not gonna bake cookies, Harry, and send cookies on. I'm sort of past that. But, and I also wanted to thank Mayor Schlegel, because he took time out of his day to meet with me, very graciously gave me a tour of the building. I hope I didn't go off on a tangent, because sometimes when I'm passionate about something, my passion overrules my good manners. So if I was offensive, I apologize. But thank you anyway for that. That's all I have to say. As I said, I can't tell you how impressed I was with the treatment I received. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Marcelise. Anybody else? Okay, with no one else,
Before you go further, something I need to get out.
I knew we wouldn't get out without you saying something.
Just a reminder, I was looking at the police report. In February, we had a series of thefts from vehicles. They were not broken into. They were parked in the driveway in front of the house, and they left them unlocked and left valuables in the car. More importantly, today a lot of the cars have buttons that you can open the garage door. If you have an automatic opener on the car, you're just inviting somebody to push the button and come on into your house. So if you're gonna leave your car outside, lock it. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Okay, I need a motion for adjournment.
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Majernik has the motion. Do I have a second? A second by Mr. Purcell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned.
Can I ask for some help?
Got a new one.
Don't know what I did wrong, but I had written down that there was a meeting here tonight. What? To bring the state.
Still seeking word from me.